Hi, everybody. I'm gonna talk about the results of the past 2 weeks. And so as you can see from my portfolio versus the S&P 500, and again, my portfolio is very much focused on a pretty broad universal space where I'm looking at equities, commodities, and some other types of investments such as currencies. Um, and again, and the way I actually approach it is it's based on fundamental analysis, and then I overlay that with some AI modeling that I've created to really optimize on which areas to really focus on, especially for 2 to 4 weeks. And if you look at my return for the last 2 weeks on my portfolio, it was 2.06%, whereas the S&P 500 returned 1.77%. If you look over 12 months, the cumulative return, based on compounding is 65.8% for my portfolio, whereas the S&P 500's returned 14.89%. If you look at it since the beginning of the year, the return has been 23.52%, again, for my optimized portfolio, whereas the S&P 500's returned 6.77%. So again, better. Did a little bit better than the S&P 500, but the goal is to do even better than that. And going forward, hopefully that's the goal right there. Now let's look at the upcoming portfolio allocations for the next 2 to 4 weeks. And so these are my areas or my equities that I want to focus on. Again, roughly each one is about 8.3% of the total equity portfolio. Take a snapshot of it. And again, this is where you should be for the next I would say 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, but for sure 2 weeks. And again, next week or in 2 weeks, we'll do this again. All right.